Good morning, everyone. This is Lynn Sugiyama speaking on behalf of the Arizona Buddhist Temple here in Phoenix, Arizona. I want to thank you for watching us on the Arizona Buddhist Temple Facebook webpage and also on the YouTube channel, Dharma in the Desert. So I want to thank all of you for taking the time to watch us on these channels. I know that our temple is still closed due to coronavirus, and I hope all of you are safe and healthy during this precarious time. Let's begin with the reading of the Wasan. These are the hymns on the Pure Land, and this is a Wasan that we chant during the chanting of the Nembutsu Wasan that we chant during the Shotsuki Hoyo memorial services at the temple. Goes like this. Amida Buddha has passed through 10 kalpas, now since realizing Buddhahood. The Dharma body's wheel of light is without bound, shining on the blind and ignorant of the world. Please join Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Again, good morning. I want to inform all of you that I have completed my master's thesis for my Master's of Buddhist Studies at the Institute of Buddhist Studies in Berkeley, California. And so it's been a great relief. I know it's taken a couple of years, several years to write my thesis. And so I'm able to complete it now. And so my professor, Professor Haruo Yamaoka, he told me that even though I completed my master's thesis, this is just the beginning of what I'm learning, continue to learn about Shin Buddhism. And so I realized that as I go through my help, the Arizona Buddhist Temple, that it's going to take a lifetime to learn Shin Buddhism. And so I couldn't be on this journey without my family, my wife and my daughter, and also my two sisters and their families. Also, I'm grateful for like Von Sensei, Mago Sensei, Reverend Gibbs from Pasadena, and also to the members of the Arizona Buddhist Temple who've always supported me and helped me learn about the Buddhist teachings. So in my thesis, I wrote about Shinran Shonin, the founder of our tradition of Shin Buddhism, and that he lived for up to 89 years old. And so in his lifetime, he did so much writing, did a lot of writing, and he's considered one of the great Buddhist scholars to ever come from Japan. But, in my thesis, I realized that Shinran Shonin was also a great poet. And so, for special services like Shotsuki Hoyo, our monthly memorial services, and also for special services like Hoonko, we will commemorate the passing of Shinran Shonin. We read the Shoshinge. We also, sometimes we chant what's called the Nembutsu Wasan. And so this Nembutsu Wasan, the Wasan means literally soft praises. And so for Shin Buddhism, the Wasan was the way that Shinran was able to teach Buddhism in a simpler format. And so the Wasan, these praises or hymns, they explain the important passages from the Buddhist sutras and from the writings from the important Pure Land teachers or masters that come from our tradition. And so Shinran Shonin, when he wrote his books, like the Kyogyo Shinsho, this was a great work that he wrote that was very intellectual, that came from Shinran's mind. But for the Wasan, these were poems that he wrote that were from his heart, his feelings, his deep feelings about the Buddhist teachings. And so when he wrote, again, the poems, he wrote from his heart. And from the books, he wrote from his mind. But Shinran Shonin, when he wrote the Shoshinge, he wrote in the Chinese style, in the Chinese kanji, for his sutras, for that Gatha Shoshinge. But for the Wasan, the poems, he wrote in the Japanese language. So he did that so that the followers were able to understand his message in Japanese. It's interesting because the structure, the format of the Wasan is the most natural form to chant in the Japanese language. And this means that because it's fit in the Japanese language, is unique in helping people understand the Buddhist teachings. And so the Wasan, they're written in a 4-line stanza. And so this means that the first stanza has a rhythm of 7 syllables or 7 words. And the next line has 5 syllables and words. And so it repeats 7-5, 7-5 in that format in the 4-line stanza of the Wasan. So for instance, in Japanese, the first line of the Wasan that I said in English goes in Japanese, Nida Jou Butsu no Kono Kata wa. That's 7 syllables. And then it goes to the 5 syllables of Imani Joko o Etamaeri. Those are, again, the 5 syllables. And then it goes, Hoshi no korin kiwa mono naku. 7 words. And then it goes, Seno mo myo o terasu nari. Again, that's the 5 syllables. So this is a pattern that's found in Japanese poetry, especially like the waka, tanka, and haiku. And sometimes the number of syllables or certain number of words get switched around. So like in waka, it goes 5 syllables in the first line, 7 syllables in the second line, then 5 syllables again. And haiku can be written in the same way in Japanese and in English. And I know that we have English haikus, and we have haiku contests, especially during Matsuri time here in Arizona, we have haiku contests for everyone to participate in. My grandmother, my mother's mother, she composed tanka in her lifetime, and she would share her tanka with her friends in California and in Colorado, and sometimes her tanka would be published, and so they would show up in Japan in the publications there. And so my grandmother was very proud of her poetry, her tanka that she wrote. Though I said that the wasans, they're understandable in the Japanese language. So when we read it in English, I hope that we're able to understand the wasan in English too. So in English, we say that in my early reading, that Amida Buddha has passed through 10 kalpas since realizing Buddhahood. And so the Dharma, the body wheel of light is without bounds, shining on the ignorant and blind of this world. And so, when I say this in English, perhaps it is hard to understand these words. But it's my understanding that Amida Buddha, he's been an enlightened person, an awakened person for a very long time. And so for Kalpa, this is a unit of time that, for East Indians, they say that one Kalpa means 4 billion years. And so for 10 kalpas, that equals 40 billion. So that's kind of hard to even comprehend, to imagine such a long time that the Amida Buddha has existed. But in the sutras that we read, we say that Amida Buddha, he is the Buddha of infinite life. That means that Amida Buddha, his lifetime is incomprehensible, is beyond explanation. That means that, for the Amida Buddha, he is the ultimate reality of life. It is incalculable. But also means that life can be beautiful too. And so we know when we look at our own life, our lifetime has innumerable, incalculable happy times and sad times. And so for each and every one of us, we all have this unique and infinite number of experiences that we have in our life. So in our lifetime, we encounter an infinite number of happy times and sad times. And so for the Amida Buddha, we also say that he is the Buddha of light, of wisdom and compassion that shines upon all of us. So it is Amida Buddha's light that makes us aware of what I call gas, greed, anger, and stupidity that we all have in our lifetime. And so I think that, we may think in our heart that we are smart, but in reality, we don't know everything in life. And so Amida Buddha, in his wisdom, he knows everything. And we say that because he knows everything, he represents the ultimate truth in this life. And that we suffer because we don't get what we want, and we will always want what other people have. So Amida Buddha, he made this vow, this promise, that he would create this Pure Land, this place where when we pass away, we will find eternal happiness and bliss. And it is in the Pure Land that we have no more suffering and delusions. It is there that we become enlightened beings ourselves, that we experience this peace and bliss. So what is the meaning of the wheel of light without bounds? This means, to me, the Amida Buddha, he is this vehicle, this big boat, navigating and steering towards us to give us the teachings. And so we say that Amida Buddha is always coming towards us, is always coming forth and giving us his virtue, his teachings. So I think that he's telling us to rely on his wheel, on his teachings to navigate through life. So I want to continue studying the Wasan and sharing this with all of you. Shinran Shonin, he wrote some 350 Wasan during his lifetime. And so there are many opportunities for me to share these with all of you. And so I hope and encourage all of you to keep on listening to myself, Michael Sensei, Van Sensei, and Gibbs Sensei as we continue to give you these Dharma talks and talk about the Buddhist teachings together. So I hope that all of you continue to be safe and healthy, and let's continue to learn the Buddhist teachings together. And I hope that one day we are able to all meet again at the Buddhist temple. So in closing, please join me in Gasho. Again, this is the reading of the Jodo Wasan that we chant during services. Amida Buddha has passed through 10 kalpas now, since realizing Buddhahood. The Dharma body field of light is without bond, shining on the blind and ignorant of this world. Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you so much for listening. Please have a good day.